day. Where do you want to be? 'Cause now you're trying to pick a fight with everyone you need. You seem like a soldier who's lost his composure. You're wounded and play a waiting game in no man's land. No one's to blame. See the world, find an old-fashioned girl, and when all's been said and done, the things that are given, not what are the things that you want. Empty-handed, surrounded by a senseless scene, with nothing of significance besides the shadow of a dream. You sound like a no-joke. You're worn out, a bit broken, asking me time and time again, when the answer's still the same. See the world, find an old-fashioned girl, and when all's been said and done, it's the things that are given, not what are the things that you want. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la,
I would like for you to stand up with us as we come into a small, short time of worship, led by some of the Crown Leadership Academy students. So, would you prepare your heart as we worship? This first song is going to be led by one of our seniors.
Unreserved, unrestrained, your love is wild. Your love is wild for me. It isn't shy, it's unashamed. Your love is proud to be seen with me. To be seen with me. 'Cause you don't give your heart in pieces, and you don't hide yourself to tease us. Uncontrolled, uncontained, your love is a fire, burning bright for me. It's not a spark, it's not just a flame. Your love is light that all the world will see. All the world will see. 'Cause you don't give your heart in pieces, and you don't hide yourself to tease us. You don't give your heart in pieces. You don't hide yourself to tease us. Your love's not fractured, it's not a troubled mind. It isn't anxious, it's not the restless kind. Your love's not passive, it's never disengaged, it's always present. It hangs on every word you say. Love keeps its promises, it keeps its word, it honors what's sacred, 'cause its vows are good. Your love's not broken, it's not insecure. Your love's not Oh no, and you don't hide yourself to Jesus. You don't give your heart in pieces. And you don't hide yourself to Jesus. You don't give your heart in pieces. And you don't hide yourself to Jesus.
Springing up from this old ground, out of chaos, life is being found in you. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of
guys can take a seat.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2020 Crown Leadership Academy graduation. You might have thought you wandered into a church service, and that's totally okay. I know if you've been like me, we haven't been able to go to church over the past few months, so welcome to church. And I just want to thank Josh and the worship team for you guys putting in that work and all you guys did over the chapels as well. That was one thing that has stood out for me for this year's. The students, when we sent their Zoom schedules to them and said, hey, it's Monday, we're going to do everything different starting now. The emails we got back the most were like, when are we going to have chapel? The kids wanted chapel. So that's part of who Crown is, and we just love it. And thank you all for worshiping with us. I want to thank our school board. I want to thank our school board chair, Lisa Tooten, for joining us today. There are several, because of everything that's going on, of our family and friends who aren't here with us, but they're able to watch online. We want to welcome them. And that seems to be a little bit of the new normal, how we operate. So we're going to do things a little different today. Those of you who have been around Crown for a while know we do everything differently anyway. So if you've never been to a Crown graduation, this is not even a normal Crown graduation. So it's going to be very different. So I hope you're ready. Lock yourself in and get ready for it. This is our 10th graduation, and we have 21 graduates. Look over. Let's give them a hand, y'all. Yes, they're clapping for you. You've earned it. This is your moment. I would just like, if everyone would bow your heads, I would just like to pray for them, if that's okay for a sec. Hey, Lord, Jesus, you said, let the children come to you. And Lord, I'm not calling them children, but God, that just shows your heart. You love life, and you love these young men and women. God, I pray that as they enter into this next stage of life, into almost adulthood, if you will, Lord, that they keep that heart of the child that you love, that faithful heart that no matter what goes on around them, they know that you're with them, and they know that they can put their faith and their trust in you. Lord, as we send them out today, we're putting our faith and trust in you for each of them. In your name, amen. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for that, joining with me. I want to thank all of the parents who are with us today for entrusting us with your son or your daughter. That's a lot. That's a high privilege and honor. And Sarah and I take that very seriously, and we appreciate that. After all, it's an amazing time to send your young son or daughter out into the world to change the world, isn't it? We couldn't ask for a better stage that needs some new ideas and new spirit and new faith to go forward. I don't know, I was watching the slideshow beforehand, and they'll be playing afterwards. I am terrible at looking at baby pictures and picking out who that was. I can't do it with my own kids. Okay, that's why I have Sarah. You know, we're a great team. But by the end, I recognized who they were. So that's a good step for me. But in the same way that they change over their lives, from each time I met your son or your daughter for the first time, they've changed since then. They've grown. And I have a secret for you. They're going to keep growing, and they're going to keep changing over the next few years. Parents, today, for you and I, we're sending them out. And I am honestly reminded, I was praying about today this morning, and the Lord talked to me about Moses. In a time of great upheaval for his people, his mom took him, put him in a basket, and just pushed him out in the river at 3 months and said, Lord, I trust you. And Moses was drawn into a different world. Now, his mom got to take care of him for a few more years. God honored her that way. But something was required in Moses that required him to enter into a different world to draw something out of him that was in him. Moses' name means to draw out. He had to be put through that to draw out the purpose that God had inside of him. As we and you, more importantly, send your son or daughter out today, God's going to take them some places that you and I can encourage them. We can yell at them from the sideline and say, you should have run the play this way like I told you. But they have to run the plays starting now. And that's an amazing time for us. And that's why I pray for you guys today as parents, that you would place your faith in him. Just like God did it for Moses, he can do it for every single one of these young people with us today. At Crown, we are here to equip every student to fulfill his or her God-given purpose so that being led by his Spirit, they change the world. And we trust the Lord to help them in that. But I wanted to introduce you. You may not know all of these Crown kids, or what a Crown kid is like. We're different. We're different. And I call myself a kid too. I don't lump Sarah in with that, but I'm definitely a kid. What is a Crown kid like? Well, they're very bold. I'm going to honor Shane. He's not here with us today. He's in Hawaii. He's already making decisions for his life, and he decided Hawaii. So, you know what? I'm with Shane. Aloha, that's how you say it. No, I think. I may have gotten that wrong too. But Shane, of the graduates, I believe, has been at Crown the longest, since 5th grade, 8 years. And Shane is very bold. Shane just lives his life like he feels like he should. And he will say things that exemplify that. At one of our very first variety shows, it was at Holy Cross on Sullivan's Island, Shane, as a young 7th grader, was one of our MCs. Little old Shane up there on the stage with the microphone. Scary. And we had some big announcement. I totally forget the announcement, what it was. We made it, and Shane made the joke that has stayed with me all these years. He was like, whew, I'm glad that's done. Man, I thought the Carries were pregnant again. And I was like, you can't say stuff like that, Shane. And they're like, wait a minute, you put that in his head, so you're at fault. A Crown student is very giving. I want to talk about 2 right now, Jack and Sully. Jack was at Crown yesterday with his power washer, washing the sidewalks in the buildings for us. Sully and Jack were here this afternoon helping set up for their graduation. What do you say to that? But well done. Well done, parents. This is about you. Adventurous. Coleman. And I will get this wrong. Coleman has twice applied and been awarded a scholarship from the U.S. State Department to study the Russian language in a foreign Russian college. He will be going there later, I believe, is it August, Coleman? He'll be going Moldova? Yes. On a full scholarship from the State Department. That's adventurous, y'all. That's daring. That's just incredible. This group of seniors loves to worship. They're very sensitive to God. Of them, 7 have been on the Crown worship team. That's the highest percentage we've ever had. And they have taken it seriously. When I tell them at the end of their junior year about what senior leadership is, it says, I expect you, on the day you actually have to come to school Wednesday, once your privileges are in place, you will be there at morning meeting, and you will worship with your whole heart because little 4th graders are watching you. And they've done that. And I just want to say to you guys, thank you. Thank you for doing that. It does mean something. They are very thrifty. There are quite a few business people seated over here. And they are worth bank. I know some of them, they've shared it with us. And let me tell you, Mom and Dad, it turns now, you can start asking them for $20 to go see a movie. Okay, I do that now in my life. It's a total freedom for you as a parent. There's some very good business people seated over here. And lastly, a Crown student understands family. They understand we are here for each other. We are all turkeys. We all do dumb stuff, but we love each other through it. And each of us, and each of you, as a Crown parent and family member, I didn't know if you knew this or not, you're adopted into the Crown family. We are with you, and you are with us. That's what a Crown student is. Today, we just recognize their hard work. They're not done with Crown, and we're not done with them. And I hope you're not done with us, and we are certainly not done with you. We are here for each other. On that note, I want to introduce the woman who adopted them all, the Crown mom, who carries each of them inside of her heart just as much as you do, my beautiful wife, Sarah.
Thank you all so much for being here and being so flexible and understanding. It's no surprise, I don't think, to any of us that the generation, the group of kids whose childhood was bookmarked with 9/11, I was going to say would end with COVID, but let's just call it 2020 because there's a whole lot more to it than that. But what a childhood you guys have had. Lathan has said so many times in the last decade that God knew the world and the state of the world and the future of the world. None of this comes as a surprise to him. And he created a Cameron and a Camille and a Jack. He created these young people to help solve some of the problems that our world would be facing. And I'm so, so grateful for each one of you, and I'm so grateful for the investment that you've made into your futures, that your family has made into your futures. And I want you to know that we believe in you. We completely and totally believe in you. You have proven yourself over and over again to be loyal and loving and kind and smart and generous and all of those things that Lathan said. And I'm so, so incredibly proud of each of you. Thank you for being a part of our family. And I love you all a whole bunch. I'm super proud of you guys. I get the honor of introducing our first student speaker tonight. She is the perfect combination of sass and sunshine. She is fine. She's fine, whatever. Macy Beckman has been with us for several years. She started when she was in middle school. And most of her years at Crown, she's been the only girl, or not the only, but one of the few girls in her class. And I don't think it intimidated her for 1 second. She is strong-willed in all the right ways. And she leads with such wisdom way beyond her years and has kept me in check several times in my life. But she also loves people so, so well. You know where you stand with Macy at all times, and that's been a gift in my life. Sometimes working with teenagers can be a little bit intimidating, but Macy has loved me and honored me so well these last several years. She's changed my life forever, and I'm super, super grateful that I get to announce our salutatorian, Miss Macy Beckman.
Thank you, Miss Sarah, for making me cry before I came up here. I would just like to let everybody know I did not write anything. I plan on winging this entire thing. Miss Sheila knows that. You know, I just want to say I love Crown so much. And it's my favorite place on earth, and I just want to say thank you so much for making that for me. And it's just been such an honor to be your student. And to be with you guys. I love you all so much. You're all my best friends. It's just a really fantastic place. If I had gone anywhere else, I don't think I'd be the same person. that I was today, that I am today, because Crown has really, it's given me so much confidence. I was never this confident. You remember me, Miss Sarah. I was not this confident when I was in 8th grade. And it's just, you know, I was cheer captain. I would have never done that at any other school. So it's all really thanks to Miss Sarah, if we're being honest here. I want to thank a lot of people today. I want to say thanks to my mom. Hi, Mom. I love you. Thanks, Dottie, for putting me through private school. You're a king. Hi, Shane. I love you. I really should have written something, because I'm running out of things to say. Lukas, you were right. I'm kind of blanking. Just give me a second. What was I gonna say? Oh, I had a joke all lined up. I was gonna walk up here and be like, you know, how everyone is like, picture everybody naked. When you're giving a speech, it's gonna make you so much more comfortable. Well, let me tell you, it doesn't make me comfortable. It makes me uncomfy. I don't want to picture anybody here naked. It's just not fun. But for reals, I love you, Miss Sarah. I love you, Mr. Lathan. I love Miss Sheila. I love Miss Julia. Mr. Mark, you've taught me so much about the world. I don't know anything about history, but I know so much about the world. Miss Sheila and Miss Julia, you guys have really taught me how to be a good lady and just like how to be a good person. And I love you both so much. You both really raised me. I have so many moms. I have you two. I have you, Miss Sarah. It's just, it's a great life, guys. It really is. It's awesome. I love Crown. I love Crown so much. I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I really don't. Who's going to take the selfie? Who's going to do it? Should I take a selfie? Okay, I'm going to take a selfie. Fun fact, every year at the beginning of the year, I take a selfie of the whole school. So we have 4 whole selfies of the whole school, and it's always me. It's just mostly my face. And then, like, maybe you see a couple people in the background, but it's mostly me. It's pretty great, I'm not going to lie. Those are my favorite pictures from Crown. We used to have a selfie stick, but Miss Sarah lost it. I didn't break it, you lost it. Let me tell you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Should I take my selfie now and then just get out of the way? I don't know how long I'm supposed to. Cameron, you want to come hold the mic? Cameron's up next, right? I give this to her?
Not immediately, but
Well, here we are. We're taking the selfie. I need to get up here a little bit. This will take up my 5 minutes. Thank you. I love you.
That was perfect. And that's her sister. Yeah. My glasses are all fogged up. All right. Well, I'm not really sure how to recover that. I'm so glad that we could help Macy become so confident. That's what I learned through all of that. I feel awesome. Okay, good. Macy, that was really beautiful. Thank you. All right. If Macy is sass and sunshine, our valedictorian is strength, honor, and humility. Cameron Hartford has been with us for a couple of years here at Crown. And in all of my years of teaching, I really can't see, I'm all fogged up. In all of my years of teaching, there have been few students that I have gotten to see balance so well. Somebody that's brilliantly minded, like she's brilliant, super smart, but also has this other razor sharp edge of being humble and kind and noticing people. Cameron can see really into the heart of people in such a gifted and beautiful way, and she has made all of us better. She's made everyone over there better, and she's made all of us as a school better. And she inspires us all to love each other and to be kind and to give lots of thumbs up. So everybody, let's give a thumbs up for Cameron Hartford.
I got stuff. Unlike Macy, I did write a speech. Okay, so I didn't initially want to write a speech. In reality, I just wanted to achieve valedictorian, beat Macy, and then slink back into the shadows, never to be seen again. But here I am, standing in front of you all on this momentous occasion, with a pre-written speech and trying very hard not to sound sarcastic. Well, I'm going to let the sarcasm take over. For the past 3 months or so, I've been hearing a lot about how our class, the class of 2020, is the one born right as one major culture event happened and entered adulthood as another occurred. I find this really heavy. I find this entire situation very heavy. So this speech isn't going to be about inspiring people to get up and change the world. It's going to be lighthearted and acknowledging the accomplishments of my classmates. The first classmate I would want to recognize is the person who should be standing here making this speech. Macy and I have been threatened by him since he first entered the school, 1 week after I started, but by both the grace of God and a misunderstanding on his part about how the grading scales work, I'm standing here instead. This kid is beloved by all the teachers. On top of being a straight-A student, working 2 jobs, being on the school worship team, being on his church's worship team, starting a band, running from an assassin, and being a decent friend, he has also found time to teach a class here at Crown. Yes, he did. Now, as you can see, Miss Sarah and Mr. Lathan refused to acknowledge his accomplishments in teaching. So I have decided to honor him here tonight. I'm sure you're all wondering who this person is. Well, it's Sullivan Dean. So I made you a crown. It's too small, I'm sorry. And I made you a plaque.
Oh, wow.
Don't break it.
I want to. Class dismissed.
You're welcome. Okay, now for the rest of you, I'm sure you're all wondering, why didn't I get anything? Why didn't you recognize me? Well, plot twist, I did. Remember how I forced you all to fill out those senior superlative sheets and all that crap? Well, I made you all awards, and I wrote you letters and all that. They're really cheesy, but I figured you'd at least get a laugh out of them. I can't invite you all up here to receive these awards, seeing as I've only been given 5 minutes to speak, but I can thank you all as a group. You all have been the best class to grow with for these past 2 years. Whether it was meeting Caleb's puppy, Macy threatening to get rid of me, Forrester and Binks's constant bickering, Coleman being a Russian spy, Hannah's wonderful singing voice, questioning whether Nick would actually show up to class, Rigel and his many accomplishments in fishing, Camille threatening Sully, Bill asking how our weekends were, Jacob's dump truck, Carly and her horses, Lucas's beard, or occasional lack thereof, whether or not Shane would actually move to Hawaii, plot twist, he did, JP in a sock tan, Lukas being attacked by geese, still have not heard that entire story, Jack throwing scissors at the wall and being everyone's tech support, Gabriel leading worship for the whole school, or Catrina becoming an older sister as she graduates. You all have been the greatest class. Thank you so much for being the funniest, least dramatic people I could have asked for. Mr. Lathan, thank you for pushing us to be the best versions of ourselves. You know we can be the best versions of ourselves you know we can be. Miss Sarah, thank you for loving us and convincing me Crown was the place I need to be. To all of our teachers, Mark, Julia, Sheila, and all the rest, thank you for growing our minds and pushing us to learn more than we thought was possible. And to our parents, thank you for investing in our education. We know it wasn't cheap, but as you can see, it was all worth it in the end. Thank you for supporting us every step of the way and loving us unconditionally. You all are the reason we are here tonight, and you are the reason we get to enter into this world as somewhat mature adults. I look forward to seeing where this class goes and what what the people who have become my friends will become. Thank you.
I really don't know who's responsible for their irreverent behavior. But I will get to the bottom of it. Like I said earlier, this is a little different, and we enjoy life at Crown. We really do. And so normally at most graduations, which are wonderful events, this would be the time where we have a guest speaker come up and share something profound for about 30 minutes that none of us will remember next week. So and that's wonderful, and I love that kind of thing, but we do it a little differently. We want to give the Lord a chance to honor these students. All right. Again, one of our students sent me an email who couldn't be here tonight, and he said, I know I can't be there tonight, but it's really important to me that I get prayed over and blessed at my graduation. And I just was like, absolutely, we are making a way. And normally what we would do here is we would have 9 or 10 graduates, and we'd offer for them to come up one by one, and we invite people from the community to come pray over them. Tonight's going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to go through that in a second. But what the goal of Crown is to take these young people who you send to us with all their gifts and talents and abilities and try to develop them, but also try and impart to them their own ability to hear the Lord for themselves, just like Samuel in the Old Testament. So as they go out into the world without me there, without Sarah there, and more importantly, without you there, someone is with them to help them make good decisions and to pray over. So we focus on helping them hear the Lord for themselves. And, it's the perfect time now that they're becoming more responsible for their lives. The Lord will talk to them. All right? Sarah and I, in our own lives, this first started happening for me. We were married. I was 21. She was 20. Real young, I know. But the Lord told us, that's the one. And I sat and I looked and said, do I want to spend 2 more years in a college dorm with these jokers, or do I want to live with her? It was a really easy decision. It's the best decision I've ever made in my life. So about 7 months later, we're driving down the road. We're juniors in college, 0 money, waiting tables to try and make it, doing all of our credit hours. And my beautiful wife had a teacher who was going on a mission trip to Haiti, and the teacher just shared about it because she was going to help some special needs children in Haiti, and that's what Sarah's degree is in. And Sarah started talking to me about this college professor, and Sarah felt led that we should give her some money for her trip. And I was like, okay, my dad warned me about this. So I was forming the no in my mind and what I would say. And y'all, this is one of the first times I know God spoke to me personally. $40 just popped up in my head. I literally opened my mouth with a, no, we can't do that. How about $40? And I sat there for a second and I said, Lord, that felt like you. This feels like church. What? Okay. $40, and then I was like, okay, we'll let's pray about it and we'll see. And so she immediately, this is how I knew it was God. She immediately said, that sounds perfect. We had a husband and wife unity moment. And I was like, that's God. So 2 days later, Sarah came to me. We gave the check to the teacher. She was leaving on Monday of spring break to go on her trip. Sarah had given her the check on Friday. It was the exact number she was short of paying for her trip, $40. And I sat there for a second. I was like, whoa, God, I really did hear you. The other part is when we hear God and we grow in Him, there's always side benefits. My young wife was very impressed with me. And that has benefits. So I actually remember saying to the Lord, I owe you one. Thank you for sticking up for me. But that's kind of what we do. We use this time, and 1 Corinthians, I want to read these to you. 1 Corinthians chapter. Praying and prophesying to each other is connected directly by God to us loving one another. So when we sang that song at the beginning, when Hannah did and the worship team about love, He doesn't hide it from us to tease us. This is what he says in his word that means. Weird things for me. About 5 minutes in, Hannah Goforth, one of our seniors, walks in and sits down in the room, and she's working and studying, and the Lord said to me, ask her to start praying over people too. I was like, okay, Hannah, you're up. The Lord says you're going to pray over people. And she said, okay. And so I prayed over one more, and then we tag teamed. She started sharing with others what the Lord was saying to them. So when we say we want these kids to go out and change the world being led by God's Spirit, it's because they love the world, they love the people in the world, and they carry their Father's heart for those people. It's not just their gifts and talents and abilities. It's those things encapsulated in love with a direct connection to their Father in heaven. So, Sarah and I, we start this honestly in about February. We start praying over each of the graduates and praying over the connections we have in town with mature Christian leaders. Who are we going to match up? Earlier, we do it one by one. There's usually only 10 graduates, and we get to see everyone and see all that. This year is very different. There's 21 of them. You and I don't have that kind of time. God has that kind of time, but you and I don't. So we have divided them up into 2 groups, and we're going to have a slide of the first group pop up. And this is how this is going to work. We're about to do a little bit of musical chairs, but we're going to do it in small groups because of social distancing. So I'm going to announce a graduate's name. That graduate is going to stand up, and around the outside of the room are stations with the sign with the graduate's name on it. So as you see your son or daughter stand up and walk to their sign, you will go join them as their parents. Other family members are welcome, but they don't have to, okay? If you just want one of you to go, that's also fine. But this gives you a great opportunity right away as your son or daughter goes into adulthood, sort of. They get to lead you around, which I love, honestly. Now, what's going to happen then is that some of our guests couldn't join us today. They have sent prayer videos. These are on devices around the room. And Caroline, see Caroline way back there waving her hand? She's a Crown grad. She's going to come to the devices and start playing them. Later on, we're going to email each of these to the students so they can see it later on. All right? I will tell you that Sarah and I have had the privilege of watching some of these videos already. And I just want to say that God's amazing. He knows your son or daughter. He knows them. And that can give you some confidence. So I've already spoken to this young man. He's going to be our leader, our example. And his name is Jacob Nyman. Jacob, will you stand up and will you head over to your sign? So Jacob is walking over there. His parents right here, Tori and Susan, if you guys would go join Jacob. And as soon as they get over there, Caroline is going to start that. All right. Next, I would like Carly. Carly, where are you at? You're right there. Do you know where your sign's at? I believe it's in that back corner right over there. Sarah will walk you over there. All right. Carly's parents, if you could join her. All right. Jack Wilson. If you would stand up, and Jack, I believe your sign is right over there. Jack, if your family would join you. All right, Hannah. All right, if you would walk over to your sign. And Hannah's parents, you're already there. They really are prophetic and know the Lord. They sat in the exact right place. All right, Nick Fetten. If you would stand and head on over. Nick, if your parents would join you. Catrina Bates. All right, Katrina's family, if you would join her. All right, Mace, Caleb, if you would head on over to your sign, and if Caleb's family would join him. And Sarah is going to bring over your prayer minister in just a second, Caleb. Perfect. All right, Bill Marshall, if you would stand up and you would head over to Miss Kimberly's right over there. And if Bill's parents would join him, and I will be escorting your prayer minister over to you. We're going to go through this first group, and then when they're done, we'll do group 2. We've never done this before. I hope it all works out awesomely well. Okay, Coleman, Efird. All right, Coleman, Efird, and Coleman, if your family would go with you. Sarah, if you'll take Alex over with Coleman. All right. Lukas Walker. Lukas, come on over here with me. And if Lucas's parents, oh, they're already sitting over there, another amazing family. All right, let's go with Lukas Sawin. There he is. Lukas, if you would head over to where your sign is at. Lucas's family, if you guys would head on over, and I'll bring your prayer person with you. right. Gabe Sotelo. Yeah, man. Gabe will get the experience of what it was like to be Miss Sarah growing up. Miss Sarah's father is praying over Gabe. All right. Binks. Binks, if you would head on over to your sign, and if Binks' parents would join him, I'll be bringing over your prayer minister now. It's a brave new world.
All right, everybody, if you could return to your seats. Please. I think everyone's done. I'm not trying to cut anybody short, but I think they're all done. All right. He's still with us. Say hi. He's still there. All right. We're about to award the diplomas, the piece of paper you've all been working for. You're about to get it. But we, as Lathan was saying earlier, normally we get the joy of being able to hear everybody be prayed for throughout the night. And so if you guys recorded it, if you were able to record it on a device, if you wouldn't mind sharing that with Lathan and I, we would love to hear. We want to celebrate with you guys and continue to pray for your family as y'all transition into the next thing that God has for you all. So that's all I had, right? Are we good? I did threaten several people sitting over there that I didn't want them to graduate. I've got the mic. I don't have to give it to them. What? Get the show on the road. All right. So we will call the graduates forward. Not only will they get a diploma, but all Crown grads get a piece of jewelry. So the girls get the laurel leaf necklace, and the boys get a bracelet that has the laurel leaf on it. So grads, don't forget to grab that. We won't be handing them to you, so you're welcome to pick up the things that are sitting there with your name on it. Does that sound good? I think you can follow that. And I have the honor of introducing the person that's going to be reading off the names for our graduates tonight. It is not you. It is a 2014 Crown graduate, Caroline Warner. And Caroline, we're so grateful you're here. Come on forward. Another thing that we're trying to, be sensitive to everybody's time tonight. There are so many stories that are represented in those 21 students. And I could, take the time, but I won't because of our limitations tonight. But there are so many of you that have such powerful stories. And you've overcome so much, and you've experienced so much. And I want to make sure that you know that we are so, so honored to be a part of that story. And we see everything that you guys have walked through. Some of you have had incredible health triumphs, and some of you have had incredible family situations. And I just want to make sure that you know that we see you and we know you, and we're incredibly proud of you. So as your name is called tonight and you come across the stage, it is not just a piece of paper. This is a moment in your life that God is going to use to catapult you into whatever is next for you. So Caroline is going to read the names of each of our graduates as they come forward. Parents, y'all are welcome. She's going to go nice and slow, so there's plenty of time for you to take a picture. When your grad gets up here, you guys will just stand and look towards your parents so they can get some pics, okay? Does that sound good? All right.
Caleb Statum Bates. Catrina Roseme Bates. Macy Lee Beckman. Forrester James Bradburn. Sullivan Patric Dean. Andrew Banks Hibben DuPre. Coleman Killian Efird. Niclas Jaden Fetten.
Hannah Lael Goforth. Cameron Noelle Hartford. Rigel Edward Jessen. Camille Shaw Lin. William Law Marshall. Michael Jacob Nyman. Shane Thomas Parker. Carly Joyce Plesha. Lukas Price Sawin. Gabriel Michael Sotelo. Jean Paul Silver Velasquez. Not here. Lukas Christopher Walker. Jack Andrew Wilson.
All right, class of 2020, rise. A little bit of housekeeping. Those announcements that you all asked for, they have been given them. They're at their seats with them right now. If you don't get them, there's a whole stack more over there by the door. You're welcome to grab some from there as well. There's plenty for everybody, so take what you need for that. I love you. Super proud of you. Your tassel right now is on the right side, but y'all, it belongs on the left because you're high school graduates. All right. Thank you all so much for coming today and being a part of this historic graduation. Mr. Josh has got another song for us as we go. You're still part of the family, so don't be strangers to all of you in the room. We love you so much. You're welcome to stay and worship with the song, or you can start exiting. We love you so much. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, graduates.
goodness of God. I wanna sing of the goodness of God.
Day to day, where do you want to be? 'Cause now you're trying to pick a